Friends, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please click the subscribe button and the little bell so you get notifications when I have new videos. Also, if you are not new to my work and you are a constant follower, thank you so much. And I want to just announce that this video is kind of a little bit of an introduction into my latest course that we'll be launching very soon called Emotional Rehab. So this is all about the ideal versus real state that I talk about sometimes. If you know my work, you've heard it before, and really what the ideal versus real is, why we become this ideal version of ourselves that isn't totally authentic, what to do about it, what it creates in our lives and our relationships, and how to find our way back home to the true authentic self and live in alignment with being loyal to our soul rather than all the other shit that we tend to give our power away to. So stay tuned and I'll see you in a sec. So the ideal versus real state is something I created when I really looked at my own path of healing and why I thought it was so important in my life at certain times to be this ideal and trade in my real, and the pain that came from that. And then sort of the circle back home, the full circle moment for me when I decided I was done with that shit. Whatever society wants, I don't care if it's not in alignment with my inner truth. And I went through this whole almost decade of sort of redesigning my life from the inside out. And so that's really what I want to talk about, because we all deserve to heal back to who we truly are, which is our real. And if you follow my work often, then you know that I constantly talk about how to be real about how you feel so you can heal. And oftentimes people hear that and they like it, but they don't really know totally what it means until you start doing the work with me and applying it. And then you're like, holy shit, it really is that simple yet profound. So, how to be real about how we feel. It is so important. If you guys know my work, you probably know the Soul Lab program. Click below if you're interested in it. It is this. It is starting to do the work on being real. Some people don't even know what their real is. So if you don't know who your true self is, check out Soul Lab. If you do know who your true self is, you don't know how to stay with it, or you don't know why you have these triggers that pull you off of it, this video is for you. And my course, Emotional Rehab, that we will launch soon, is designed for you. So what happens is socialization. I hate to say it, but the socialization in this country specifically, but to be honest, my clients are all over the world and it happens everywhere. So I won't generalize. I was going to generalize and say some specific things about this country, but the things I'm about to talk about are actually pretty universal at this point, unfortunately, but they are. And so when we socialize, there's something I like to call the tribal wound. I have videos on that. I'm going to do a course separate on that. This is also going to be an emotional rehab, but the tribal wound is really not feeling like I belong to my country, I belong to my family, like there's something different about me. I'm not vibing on the same plane. This creates tribal wounds. I don't belong to my own tribe. Oh my God, that's mind-blowing when you're a kid. I woke up to that tribal wound very early and it was very scary because you feel like you're alone in this. Then what happens is the original wound, the first time in your life, childhood, when you feel like something about your true authentic feelings or true authentic needs or true authentic self is not acceptable, won't keep you safe, isn't enough, isn't going to get you part of the group or tribe or fit in. So what we do is we abandon parts of ourselves, and that creates an original wound. I call it the original wound. It's the original time you ever first learned that something about you isn't totally enough and beautiful and lovable and great. So we go into that. What happens when these wounds occur through socialization, through you're not learning in the right way, or you're not performing in school, or you're acting out with weird behaviors, or you're not as beautiful as this person, or you just say strange things at strange times, or you, I don't know, there's so many things. If you don't fit the frickin' boxes, basically, you're gonna have a wound. You're gonna have an emotional experience that feels uncomfortable, and if you don't have the emotional support around you that you need after this experience happens, it's going to sit in your body as a trauma. And many of those traumas become unconscious because they're too painful to process, or because we don't even realize that it bothered us that much. So a lot of these things stay stored in us, and what happens is they create subconscious patterns that we can't control, specifically in intimate relationships. So this is where our ideal self starts to take over, where we start to say, you know what, I'm just going to be this then. I'm just going to quit this and quit that and join this team so I can be part of something. I'm just going to quit doing this and quit doing that because it's not getting me the attention or the love or the friends that I think I need in society. So almost everyone has some level of this ideal version of themselves that is in the way of who you truly are and stopping you from even exploring who you truly are in some ways. I just had a client this afternoon who was like, Candace, it's like I know who I am, but I can't allow myself to be him because I'm worried about this other person. So this is the first sort of relationship dynamic I want to discuss. When we have an ideal version of ourselves, we tend to attract idealistic partners, or what I would call a narcissistic partner, someone who's not totally in their authentic self, somebody who is not completely in alignment with our heart and soul, but more in alignment with an image or an idea or a structure or something to fit into. So it's not a freedom, it's more of a prison. And we attract these kinds of relationships because we ourselves, and most of the time these relationships are people who are emotionally unavailable. Most of you will probably be surprised to find out that the reason we attract emotionally unavailable people is because we are totally emotionally unavailable to that inner child part of ourselves that we've locked away into this ideal version. And the only way that we could ever stop attracting this type of relationship, everyone's like, how do I stop attracting these kinds of people? They're always in people, is by doing the inner work. By shedding these ideals and becoming really comfortable with your reals and realizing that it's about me being more loyal to my soul than I'm being loyal to what your needs are. We have to stop living for this external false security. Oh, if I fit into these structures that society has created, what is society, by the way? It's people. It's not God. Your creator, the person who created you, the universe who created you, the source that created you, did not create society. People create society, and people have two things going on inside of them: free will and higher will. And if they're just doing the free will, which has a lot to do with ego a lot of the time, society structures are probably not going to give you this space to be who you truly are. They're going to give you the space to see if you can fit into this structure. And if you do, great. And if you don't, you either need medication or you need to go on a diet or you need to do things different. I don't agree with that. I feel like that creates fragmented self, which is another lesson in emotional rehab, which is coming out later this month or next month. The fragmented self. The parts of ourselves that react sometimes in some ways and other times in other ways, and sometimes it's unpredictable depending on what trigger comes my way, because there are fragmented parts of me that aren't integrated because I had to separate from myself to survive. And my healing work is all about reuniting and integrating with shadow, with wounds, with light, with truth, because all of it is who you are. And what you've been taught is that parts of it isn't okay. And so what we do is we start living in alignment with things that we think are okay or right. Am I doing this right? How do I know I'm doing this right? Which is a whole other subject. Rather than, is this right for me? So often we don't know what's right for me, or we don't know how to make a decision because we're so disconnected from the part of ourselves that feels real. This is how I truly feel. What we say is, let me replace with what I feel with how I think I should feel. Or how I should feel to feel enough to be part of that group. Or how I should feel to be enough to be loved by mommy or daddy. Or how I should feel to be the teacher's pet or people please, so people like me, because that's an ego need I have. As we get older, I have a lot of clients in their late 40s, early 50s who come to me at this stage in life and say, I'm tired of not being my full authentic self. I don't want to die without being who I truly am for the next half of my life. This is a big wake-up call for people. You're past raising your kids, you're past all of it, or you're in it, and you're like, whoa, I'm not able to fully be who I am. This job or this role or this career or this lifestyle is not doing it for me. And even if it's a great life, I'm not able to just be me in this life. It's a complete overhaul. What that means is there's an ideal that's in the way of your real, and it's okay because it kept you safe for so long, and it kept you having that tribal wound, that survival wound of I can fit in if I do this stuff. But what you start to realize at this stage in your life, and hopefully even sooner, some people sooner, some people later, what you start to realize is nothing matters as much as living in alignment with my truth. Nothing matters as much. You start to realize that I will let go of certain people in my life if that doesn't allow me to be the true version of myself. You start getting really tired of living for them out there, and you want to live for this right here. You want to connect with your inner guidance and understand the wisdom you need for your own life. You want to wake up to that true purpose that you have here, which is to follow your authentic self and be your true full expression in life without any excuses, without any fear of being ignored or not loved or alone. That's one of our huge issues in life. We're so afraid of being alone. Do you want to know why we're mainly afraid of being alone? Because, by the way, it's a fear. It's never a reality. There's, 7.2 billion people on this planet. You're never going to fully, or whatever it is, you're never going to fully be alone, right? But we're so afraid we'll be alone. And the reason we're so afraid of being alone is because all the times we've been left, we've agreed with them and left ourselves. So this work is about giving yourself permission to come back home and heal and prioritize your true feelings and your honest emotional experiences and your boundaries around them as number one. So I hope you guys will join me. Please click the links below. Check out what do we have here. So my live Q&As every Friday in the Truth Room Tribe. Talk about this shit every Friday at 10 a.m. Join us. Links below. If you don't like doing that or you want more, you can do one of my group coaching. It's called The Inner Work. It's a group of us. We meet once a week. If you don't want that and you want more one-on-one, you can do your one-on-one coaching with me below that. All the links below are also for my e-courses and my upcoming e-course, Emotional Rehab. If you want to be on the wait list for that, or you want more information about that, the email and instructions will be below. I'm so excited for those of you who are on this journey with me of just being massive badasses in this world, being who you came here to be, unapologetically, living in alignment with your true authentic self and feeling like you literally vibrate higher because you are vibrating higher than the rules of this societal norm, the rules of this place that, by the way, needs a severe upgrade, and really bringing that sort of higher energy to this planet to be the change. So, love you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe right there, and I will see you next week. Namaste.